Now today we're going to look at how do we interact with the file system, the fs module. So think about any real application. It's almost always needs to work with files. So a web server needs to read HTML files, a data processing tool needs to write log files, a photo app needs to create folders to organize images. Now the fs module is the node's built-in tool for all of these tasks. So it's a key to the server's filing cabinet. So we've already seen fs.writeFile and fs.create_readStream, but fs module is capable of so much more. A crucial thing to remember from our async lesson is that nearly every fs method comes in three flavors: callback based, which is asynchronous, like for example fs.rename, and then a promise based asynchronous, fs.promises.remain, and then synchronous like fs.rename sync. So now for building scalable non-blocking applications like web servers, always prefer the promise based asynchronous methods. The synchronous versions will block your entire application while they work, which is something we want to avoid. Right now, the best way to learn the fs module is to build something that uses it extensively. So we're going to build a command line tool that cleans up a messy downloads folder by organizing files into subdirectories based on their type. Maybe it's images or documents, etc. Now we're going to create our messy folder. So we're going to create a folder called downloads. So let's make a directory called downloads, and then in downloads we can just do this. So we can make maybe family photo dot jpg, and then we can make let's say vacation.jpg, vacation, and then we can make let's say report.pdf, and then we can make let's say music.mp3, and then we can make let's say archive.zip, alright, and then maybe the last one, let's make notes.txt. Alright, so under downloads we should have all of these files that we just created. Now we're gonna create another file. Let's call it organizer.js. Organizer.js. Now let's go to organizer.js. Now we need to import the fs promises and path modules. Import fs from fs promises, and then import a path from path, and then let's import chalk from chalk. Right. Now the path to our message directory will be this one, if const down now. What we need to do, we need to define where each file type should actually go. So we need to define where each file type should go. Type folders. I've got .jpg. So this one must go, anything that has .jpg must go to images, and then .png must also go to images, and then .gif must go to, it's an image as well, images, and then .pdf, so .txt, it must go to documents as well. And then .mp3 must go to audio. .mov must go to audio as well, and then .zip must go to archives. Now we need a function to organize a file, so there's gonna be an asynchronous function. Let's just call it organize files. Starting file organization. Now we need to read all the files in the download. It downloads a directory. fs.read directory. Then we'll actually loop through it. Now we need to check if it's actually a file and it's not a directory. And we say if not stat, then we're just gonna skip the next item if it's a folder. We're actually skipping to the next item if it's a folder. Now, and then number 2, we need to also determine the file extension. And then just make sure that we convert it to lowercase. Then number 3, we need to check if the destination folder exists. If not, then we create it. Alright, And then we need to move now, after creating that directory, we need to move the file to the new directory. Let's do this. Just say moving. So at least somewhere here we catch error. Then at the end, we just need to call our method organize files. Now, the fs methods that we use, the fs.read directory path reads the contents of the directory and returns an array of files or folder names. And then the fs.stat, let's just, so the fs.stat is just to make sure that we're not trying to move a folder. Okay, and then fs.accessPath, it checks if the file directory exists, and then we have the permission to access it. And it throws an error if it doesn't exist, which is perfect use case for try and catch block. And then fs.mkdir creates a new directory, and then fs.rename, it renames and moves a file. If the new path is in a different category, then the file is moved. So this is very common and powerful. Now we can actually run our application just to see if everything is good. Okay, what's the name of, is it organizer? Organizer.js. Alright, no errors. So now let's have a look. You'll actually see if we go to downloads, then everything is nicely there, and look at that. It's nicely organized. Alright, so the script actually will tell you what it's doing when it's finished, and then we can just look at the downloads folder, and it's just beautifully organized. Now the fs module is your primary tool for files and directory manipulation in Node.js. It's crucial to use asynchronous or promise-based versions, so in your application, to avoid blocking. We've learned how to read directories, get the file stats, check the existence, and create directories and move files. So we've combined all of these concepts to build this practical real-world utility script. So you now mastered another one of the absolute core modules of Node.js. With your knowledge of async operations, events, streams, and file systems, you are well equipped to build some seriously powerful back-end application at this point.